Hey there, friends. It's Sarah here from the Archer and Olive Ambassador team, and She Designs KC over on Instagram. And it is that time of year when I switch into holiday mode, which is my favorite mode of them all. And we are going to set up today my favorite spread that I do every year in my bullet journal, which is my holiday advent. This is something that my family and I look forward to every year. We love opening the little windows and seeing what seasonal activity we are going to do that day. So let's go ahead and jump in on setting up this fun spread. The first thing I do to prepare for this spread is make my list of activities that I want to include. For my family, we celebrate Christmas, and so for my Advent, I like to start on December 1st and do 25 days up through Christmas. But you can format yours however you choose for whatever holiday you want to celebrate or just for celebrating the fun of the winter season. If you're needing a little inspiration on some activities to include on your Advent, I did create a nice long list of ideas, and that is available as a free printable that you can download from the blog post associated with this topic. So be sure to grab that if you need a few ideas on the activities. I've been making an Advent spread in my bullet journal for a number of years now, so I've done it a couple of different ways, so I'm going to show you both methods that I've used to create this spread. For this first one, I block out the number of spaces I want for my Advent, so 25 in my case, and I try to be sure to leave plenty of space in between each flap and also plenty of space from the center of the journal so that when I am lifting the flaps and everything, there's plenty of room to move around there and plenty of room for the tape, which I'll use to attach all these little windows. To make all the windows, I'm just measuring out the size on my Archer and Olive notepad paper, which is really convenient since it's also dot grid like the bullet journal I'm using, so I can easily count the number of spaces I want and cut those to size. I like to vary up my sizes and shapes because it looks really playful, but you can also keep them uniform, which would be a great look as well. I do have a full list of the supplies that I'm using on the blog post, so be sure to check that out if you need any information on what products I'm using, and be sure to use my affiliate code if you're shopping with Archer and Olive to save 10% on your purchases. I appreciate that so much. So now that all my windows are cut out, I will take them one by one and start decorating them. And this is the fun part in my opinion. You can get really creative with this. You can use wrapping paper, washi tape, stamps, stickers, just doodles, whatever you want to do to decorate the flaps, and we'll put the numbers on as well. And it'll just make this spread look really fun in the end. So then I'm going to go in and write in the activity on each space and then add the numbers on my flaps. I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape to stick my flaps on the page or my windows on the page, and I'm being sure to erase before I tape those on so I don't have to try to work the eraser in there after my flap is already taped on. So here's the completed spread using the method of cutting out some separate paper and taping it into the bullet journal. And next up, I'm going to show you the method that I use nowadays, which is to actually cut the flaps into the paper with an X-Acto knife. So for that type of spread, you will want to make sure that you have a blank spread and then 2 blank pages underneath those, because you're going to end up gluing or taping these pages to the ones behind them, since you're going to cut out the flaps here. So to begin, we'll go ahead and sketch out the placement of the flaps or windows, again being sure to leave plenty of space between and plenty of space from the center of the journal so that you have room to fit your self-healing mat when it comes time to cut the flaps out. So once you're happy with the placement of your sketch, you will go ahead and stick a self-healing mat under the paper, under the one sheet of paper where your flaps are, and you'll want to grab an X-Acto knife and then just start cutting on 3 sides so that these will become flaps that you can lift. So you just want to be careful to move that self-healing mat along so that it's always under your knife wherever you're planning to cut, so you don't end up with a big hole in your paper. So we'll just go along and cut out all of these flaps. Once you have all your flaps cut out, you can go in with an eraser and be sure to use a super light hand as you're erasing. It is the absolute pits when you snag your paper and then create a crease in your flap. I've done that many times, so take it nice and slow as you are erasing your guidelines. We're ready to go ahead and write in our activities for our Advent. So now we need to figure out where to write those so they show up when we lift the flaps. So in order to do that, we will put the flat page flat against the page behind it and just go in and lift each flap gently, and then use a light hand with your pencil and trace the edge of that flap, so you can see on the paper below where that is going to open up and what space you have to write in the activity. Okay, so now you know what space is going to be visible when you lift the flap, so you can go ahead and go in and write all the activities, which is what I'm going to do now, is fill in each one of these with an activity. The easiest way to decorate the flaps is to grab some scrap paper and carefully slide it up under the flap, and then use your marker or whatever, stamps, whatever you're using to decorate your flap, and you don't have to worry about that getting off of the flap because you have that scrap paper behind it. So you'll end up with a nice clean looking result at the end there. And you can see I mostly used markers to doodle on my flaps, but I also used a couple of stickers, some number stickers and those tree stickers, but you could use washi tape, a lot of the things that I listed before, and all of that would be perfect for this. So once all the decorating is done, we'll go in once again and erase these pencil lines that we used for our window placement, so get that page all cleaned up so nothing peeks through underneath our flaps. And then it's time to go ahead and adhere this page to the one behind it. So whatever your preferred adhesive is, you'll want to go ahead and grab that. I'm using a roller tape here, and you'll want to put the adhesive on the back of the page with the flaps. So you'll want to focus the adhesive on the borders of the page and then the spaces between your flaps. So be careful not to glue your flaps closed. You want to keep it to the spaces between them. And once you have that on, you'll just take the two pages and give them a good smush and just stick them right together. Then you'll just repeat the same thing on the other side and your spread will be complete. Here's a final look at how my spreads came out, and I'm so happy with them and looking forward to using this with my family this holiday season and making some great memories. I hope you are feeling festive and inspired to make an advent yourself, and I hope you form some great memories with your loved ones this holiday season as well. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the Archer and Olive YouTube channel for more fun and creative content, and I will talk to you all soon.